Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
It's your boy Taco Bell Wani, aka MMA Academics, and I got a question. I know a lot of people don't like Tyron Woodley, but how many people are ready for him to shut Colby Covington the fuck up and after that potentially crash Kamaru Usman? Because I know I am, and it's nothing personal against Kamaru Usman. Actually, it's everything personal against Kamaru Usman. And it's not just me specifically, though. You know what really made me potentially root for Tyron Woodley if he does face Kamaru Usman? And I know there's a couple fights that have to happen first. Colby Covington and RDA have to fight first. The winner of that's going to fight Tyron Woodley. But if Tyron Woodley successfully defends his belt against either of those guys, we could be looking at a potential Tyron Woodley versus Kamaru Usman UFC welterweight title fight in the future. And I gotta tell you right now, I'm biased. I'm going with Tyron Woodley. Fuck that African nigga, bro. And y'all gotta hear where I'm coming from. You gotta hear where I'm coming from. If you guys know, Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou are about to fight, right? And an interesting fact that Derek Lewis brought up, and it's just stuck in my head now. It's stuck. I can't get it out. He said, yo, I gotta get Francis back for selling us to the white man. Yo, I know it might sound stupid, but that does add an extra layer to any African American versus African fight. This is going to be Tyron Woodley. If this fight happens, this is going to be Tyron Woodley going in there to crash this motherfucker for putting us on a boat, selling us out to the motherfucking white man, putting them on, and I'm talking from half of me, right, or 30%. Well, it's 50% of me, right? For full disclosure, I'm half black, half white, for those of you who didn't know. So, with that being said, half of me is like, fuck this nigga Tyron Woodley, you gotta crash this nigga, cuz. And the other half of me is like, hey, let's fucking go. I don't really care who wins, right? You know, it's a UFC fight. I don't have any eggs in the basket. I don't know Tyron Woodley. I don't know Kamaru Usman. I just know they're both dominant welterweights at this point, and we could be seeing them in a potential future title fight. But still, after Kamaru Usman dominated Demian Maia last night, he called out Tyron Woodley. He didn't call out Colby Covington. He didn't call out none of these other guys. He actually on the microphone said, I'm not calling nobody out because that shit don't work for me. But in the post-fight speech, he told Tyron Woodley was on the Fox Sports desk, so he was talking to Tyron Woodley. And someone asked him, hey, you know, you're talking to Tyron Woodley right now. Anything you want to say to him? You know, he's the champion of your division. And where they asked him, what's one word you think of when you think of Tyron Woodley? And he said, champ. Then he said, you know my social media hasn't changed since I got in this game 5 years ago. It says welterweight, and I'm coming for that gold strap. And with that performance, even with some handicaps, nobody can deny I'm top 5 right now in the division. And when he talks about handicaps, I'm assuming he's talking about coming into his last fight at 30%, breaking both of his hands in this fight. So he came into the last fight at 30%. He left this fight at 30% after he broke both of his hands. And someone also pointed out, yo, if he broke his hands in the middle or during the second and third rounds, he was only literally healthy for 30% of the fight. So with that being said, 30% of me, like, I'm unbiased. But I've got a 30% of a bias toward Tyron Woodley to knock Kamaru Usman the fuck out. The same reason I low-key now I got to root for Derek Lewis to beat Francis Ngannou. And I'm not going to lie, just because I'm rooting for him doesn't mean they're going to win. Hell, Derek Lewis very likely could get his block knocked off when he fights Francis Ngannou at UFC 226. Hell, Tyron Woodley had troubles with Rory McDonald, and I'm not going to lie, man. Say what you want about Kamaru Usman, Mr. 30%. You don't have to like him. You can think he's cringy. You can think he's an asshole. Whatever you want to say. I agree with you for now because we're talking about, you know, that nigga selling out my people. No, I'm just kidding. But what I am saying, though, it doesn't matter what you fucking think about Kamaru Usman, and you can take this into the real world. It doesn't matter what motherfuckers think about you. If you're Kamaru Usman, it don't matter if this guy thinks you're boring. It don't matter if this guy thinks you suck. It don't matter if this guy thinks Demian Maia was past his prime. If you're dominating shit, if you know you're fucking one of the best welterweights in the world, those opinions aren't going to affect you in the octagon. So it doesn't matter what we think about Kamaru Usman at this point. He's a dominant welterweight with an insane level of wrestling background. You know what I'm saying? And wrestlers, to be fair, have the best base as a mixed martial artist. We see successful wrestlers a lot, and in this case specifically, Rory McDonald, he might not necessarily be the wrestler Kamaru Usman is, but still, Rory McDonald is a matchup or a style you could sort of compare to Kamaru Usman. And Rory McDonald's the last guy to beat Tyron Woodley, so on top of all of that, age is not on Tyron Woodley's side. I believe he's 35, maybe 36. By the time he fights Colby Covington or RDA, then he might be closer to 37. Meanwhile, Kamaru Usman's just waiting for that opportunity, dominating shit on the way. So we'll see what happens, man. Kamaru Usman called out Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley responded, and I like his response. This is what Tyron Woodley had to say whenever Kamaru Usman said he's coming for that strap. He said, "Kamaru Usman, congratulations. I don't ever want to take away your credit. Demian Maia is a game opponent. Me as the champion, I'm always welcoming any challenger. Just make it to that point. I'll be on the other side of the octagon. I did see a couple things that you do against me. You might end up waking up with the smelling salts. But hey, hats off to you. Great job, just being real." So Tyron Woodley, all right, I see you, little homie, but I'm just saying, I saw some shit I could have capitalized in there. Demian Maia did land a couple of shots on Kamaru Usman with the stand-up. Demian Maia, though, I think his striking is underrated. He was low-key clipping up Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman, right? But he didn't outstrike Kamaru Usman the entire fight, but he landed a couple punches. Tyron Woodley said he saw a couple things, and if he capitalizes on the mistakes he saw, Kamaru Usman's going to be knocked out. And we all know Tyron Woodley's got more knockout power, more KO power, more explosiveness than Demian Maia. So, of course, if Tyron Woodley connects with Kamaru Usman, he could get dropped. Hell, that just put a fucking flashback in my mind to the first Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight where, man, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, after he got cracked, he looked like he might have been out of it. Lucky for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Tyron Woodley went for that guillotine. But, boy, Wonderboy Thompson got cracked by Woodley, like Robbie Lawler. We saw what happened to Robbie Lawler. Shoot, Tyron Woodley almost sent him into the shadow realm, but he came back from the shadow realm. But either way, this is another potential championship UFC welterweight fight we could be looking at in the future, thanks to Demian Maia, who gave Kamaru Usman this opportunity. If Kamaru Usman just beat Santiago Chile, he probably ain't even fighting for the title next. It's not even an option. Now that Kamaru Usman's likely going to be ranked top 5 in the division, and he's got to heal up his hands, he could be fighting for the title literally next. He might have to fight Robbie Lawler, he might have to fight one other guy, but if no one else in that top 5 is ready to fight for the title after Colby Covington and RDA, Kamaru Usman could be likely next. And with that being said, if it does happen, Kamaru Usman versus Tyron Woodley, it's going to be a great fight. And also, my thoughts like coming into this video was, isn't it going to be crazy if Tyron Woodley ends up having to go against Colby Covington, who nobody likes? So then it's like, who do you hate worse? You know, because people don't really hate Tyron Woodley. They just think he's kind of boring sometimes. You know, whatever excuse they want to come up with for not liking Tyron Woodley. So, but then Colby Covington's an actual fucking D-bag, right? He's an actual asshole that people really don't like. So who do you root for in that fight? If you're not a fan of Woodley and you're not a fan of Covington, who gets your fucking edge? You know, do you go with Woodley? And then let's say Woodley beats Covington. He's going to get a little bit of fans for that, shutting up Colby Covington. And then let's say he fights Kamaru Usman. Not too many people are big fans of Kamaru Usman. So in my head, I kind of see like this Daniel Cormier situation playing out where people didn't like DC when he was going against John Jones. People ain't really fucking with you, you know what I'm saying? People weren't big fans of DC. But after a while, he grew on everybody. And that might be the case for Tyron Woodley. He's starting to change his personality up a little bit. He's not complaining as much. He's not talking about money fights. He's literally just like, yo, anytime I talk, you guys take it and twist it, and you guys don't like when I call people out. So I'm just going to fight whoever's in front of me. So he's switching up his personality. People are probably going to like that. Less complaining, less money fight talk. And on top of that, if he shuts out Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman, who a lot of people aren't big fans of, Tyron Woodley gets that many more fans. So I'm just curious to see if he was able to do that. Would people start to eventually gravitate toward Tyron Woodley and become a fan? Kind of like with DC. A lot of people are more, you know, have changed their opinion on Daniel Cormier. And it's going to be interesting to see if Tyron Woodley can create that same effect, or if his skin tone is just too dark. Oh, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G.